The permanent portfolio is on track to do 30% annualized returns and has a Sharpe ratio of 2.
Yeah, I mean that's just that's unbelievable
It's unbelievable.
at a time when people are so nervous to have money in the market because you just don't know if it's going to be civil insurrections or if it's going to be World War III or if the dollar's going to lose its world reserve currency status. You don't know. So Porter, for that, I do have a special URL for that to make it easy. It's portersportfolio.com.
Oh, I like that.
portersportfolio.com. However, if you're on our email list, we'll also send you that special offer for 40%. Porter, as always, we love the podcast feedback. You've been getting a ton of feedback lately. You just had your big Bank of America piece, F Bank of America. And,
Yep.
it made some people nervous on the inside of the company because, they get the willies sometimes when Porter gets Porter, but the feedback's been phenomenal on that. This is something that is going to be probably one of your next biggest calls. I mean, you've had several, but this financial change, especially the Genius Act, just passed in the Senate, Porter. So it's looking like a green light. So this stablecoin thing and the banks saying goodbye, good night, Irene, because they're probably not going to be around for much longer. So you'll keep writing about that.
I told our staff, I said, you someday you're going to remember where you were when you read this piece because it's that important. Everything that banks can do for you, Aaron, what do? They provide security and they
Mm-hmm.
provide transactions. They provide payment services, right?
Right.
So it used to be you write a check and your bank receives that check. It sends the money to the recipient of the check. It makes sure that only the amount that's authorized is paid. Make sure that nobody can get into your account but you. Right? There's the two things that it does. It does security. It does payments. All
That's
right.
right.
Well, think about that. What's more secure as a ledger than blockchain?
Nothing. It's
Nothing.
forever. Everything is exactly perfect. It's
It's
there.
very hard to explain to people who don't understand anything about technology why that's the case. But basically, with cryptology, you can't alter the ledger because if you do, then the software won't work anymore.
That's
So
right.
the security is actually built into the existence of the software. It doesn't work if someone tries to steal. So it's a perfect ledger. It's the best technology that's ever existed for a registry system because as you understand, it's all done in blockchain and the block can't be formed unless the ledger is accurate.
Yeah.
So there is no reason to have a bank to maintain security of your account. There's just not. There's no reason. There's no technological reason to have a bank anymore. And then in terms of payments, well, the internet is obviously the largest node network in the world by far. So why would you pay Visa or MasterCard or PayPal or American Express or anyone who has a private network? Why would you bother to use their private network when you can securely pay anyone in the world, any cell phone in the world, any email account in the world, instantly? I like to explain to people that the change that's coming to banking is exactly like the change that hit Blockbuster. The reason why Blockbuster existed was because there was no other efficient way to safely distribute Hollywood's content. So they had to lock it into a DVD, and you had to have a physical DVD to distribute it. Well, obviously, software protocols got better, bandwidth got better, and there is no reason to have Blockbuster today. So Blockbuster doesn't exist. The other thing is, I'm sure you realize that Blockbuster didn't make any money renting DVDs. All the rental income went to Hollywood. Blockbuster made
Yes.
money on late fees.
That's right.
So
I remember getting up early, hauling ass to the Blockbuster to try to get in that drop slot that looked like a little bank slot. And you got to rewind it too, or you'll get a fee for that as well. They were there to ding you for the fees for sure.
so banks, they make money by stealing the interest that their customers should
That's
rightfully
right.
receive, and then they make money by charging you all these fees. And technology has obviated all of that, just like technology obviated Blockbuster. And so all these people who think that this technology is going to make banks better, they don't understand. It's going to make banks disappear. And I'm of course all for it. And
I'm definitely all for it.
the first step in that happened this week with the Senate passing the Genius Act, creating a regulatory framework for stablecoins. That's the first
Mm-hmm.
step. The next step hasn't happened yet, and the reason why it hasn't happened yet, of course, is because the banks are a very powerful lobby. But it will. And the next step is, oh, gee whiz, I have custody of my own stablecoin. It's in my software wallet. Why would, if it's my custody and it's my coin, why is Circle or whoever is stablecoin made it, how come they're receiving all the interest in the treasury bills that back it? Why am I
Hmm.
not receiving that interest? And then, of course, you'll eventually have competition for that, and that will really be the DeFi revolution that will put banks out of business, because there, with stable coins, you could probably get paid by the minute.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. That'll
Yeah,
be amazing.
and if you need to borrow money, you can borrow money for the exact amount of time you need to borrow it.
Yeah, that's even better. And like I just got back from Europe for my honeymoon, and most places don't take American Express because God forbid they got to pay the extra 0.5% or whatever. Visa, Mastercard, you're jumping through hoops, you get it declined. There's all kinds of messes out there. I can't wait for my money just to work.
It shouldn't. There's no technical reason for any of that to ever occur. And if you realize that last year, Brabsy, when there was no legal framework in the United States for stable coins, there was $28 trillion of volume
Oh God,
in
that's that's
stable into and out of stable coins.
that's mind blowing. 28
Yeah,
trillion
28
dollars.
trillion. So people who think that that something's gonna stand in the way of this, uh, they're wrong. What's the Lynn Alden saying? "There's no stopping this train.
That's right.
There's
There's
no
no stopping
stopping
this
this
train.
train." And
No, there isn't.
and, people are like, "Oh, Uber will never be allowed to, to happen because the taxi cab lobby."
Mm-hmm.
Well, look what happened,
That's right.
"Oh, who could ever put Blockbuster out of business?" I mean, Kodak,
You're
right?
right.
Blue chip American business.
Polaroid.
It doesn't matter. When
Right.
technology comes for you, you're dead.
You're
And
dead.
that
You adopt or die. That's it.
and the day has come for banks, and I couldn't be happier.
There's a reason why the world's best informed investors read my daily journal. Subscribe for free at portersjournal.com.